GloryDaze, the best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim.
On Radio Nova.
And we're back. Look at that. 2 weeks of no podcasting shenanigans, and here we are
here
again.
we are back again. Holiday Jim is back in. You want to see him? Oh my God. We were saying it on Monday. There's a set of maracas on him after that holiday. And he's like, yeah, you're looking really healthy and fresh though, I have to say. Like,
Healthy,
you're all tanned.
yeah. Well, I'm not tanned. I mean, come on, you don't.
You're wearing bright colours and your skin looks vibrant. You know.
Yeah. Wait, did you go to a nuclear plant? Because there's a glow off you, Jim.
You've never been so parrot-like to me before. You look
No,
very
you see,
well.
the weird. It's funny you say the thing about the tan, right? Because the gas thing is, right. I don't, and I've accepted it now, right? It's taken me a long time, but I've accepted it now. You could peg me out in the Sahara Desert and leave me there, and I still wouldn't get a tan, no matter how hard. And the gas thing is, right. So I came home after being away on holiday, literally say, because we arrived in late or whatever, it was after midnight and everything, and you go home and blah blah. So the next day, right, we still had a couple of days before we were back in work. The next day, I went down to the local or whatever, you know what I mean, and I'm sitting there.
Very nice.
Right, and I'm sitting beside this lad, actually the lad who fixed my car, and I was talking to a few people at the bar or whatever, and he started slagging, of all people, the Bomber.
Oh, well, good for him. I like this guy, yeah.
Right, so, of all people, he started slagging the Bomber and saying to him, I have some colour there, pass it, were you away or whatever. And of course, you see, now the Bomber, right, he was in Greece for a week, but it's the tinted moisturiser that the Bomber uses that really gives him his
yellow hue. Yeah, that sort of yellowish hue that comes off the Bomber,
Exactly. So he's sitting there, right? So
kind of half rickets, half iron deficiency.
So he's there all tanned or whatever, right? And next of all, I'm talking to this lad, or whatever, and he said, "How are things, Jim?" I said, grand, yeah, just back from holiday. Oh, were you away?
What do you mean, was I away?
And this is literally the day after. So I'm sitting right beside him. So I acknowledge I don't tan well, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
You wouldn't know I'd been away in the sun. I just have that skin. You see, I think there's a bit of red hair in my family in the you know what I mean?
I think there is, yeah. There's definitely a bit of Viking in you. There is. It's just your beard grows on your back and not your face. But there's definitely a bit of Viking there. You can see the sort of gingerness, Yeah, sometimes it looks like you sort of you put some tan on your head or something, fake tan, But
so I mean, that's the thing, like, you two, like, you'd go out on the bike or whatever.
Yeah.
And the next day you'd come in and your face, you've got a big brown berry of a face.
I only tan well in the parts that I constantly expose, though. Like if I left me chest or me Mickey out in the sun, it'd be burnt to a crisp. I'd be like a little bit of bacon or something. But the arms to a point, I have the farmer's tan thing. So, and one year I was being a motorbike courier, and I'll never forget, I just stopped wearing my gloves because it was such a pain. You do you this, that and the other, and it was warm summer, and my fucking hands tanned and none of my arms. So I had these big brown hands.
Like you were wearing gloves.
Yeah, so everywhere I went I was wearing sleeves. I was like, Jesus Christ, I was roasted the whole time. I just had these dirty tanned hands, and I always wore rings,
Yeah.
And I had proper little ring things, so it looked like I was taking off me wedding ring and walking around with me dirty brown hands. Trying to get up to no good. Yeah, it was horrendous.
Because you wouldn't have been, now, to be fair to you, you're not sort of a sun worshipper, sure you're not. You do like the sun.
I do love the sun.
And you like being warm and everything.
Yeah, and I do enjoy doing nothing in it as well,
Yeah. Would you be a lie-by the pool merchant?
Yeah, I could. Yes, I can be. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Some days I love it. Some days I just lie down and go, oh, mother of Jesus. Do you feel that, love? Jesus. And there'll be no one with me, talking to the man next to me. Do you feel that, love? Are you talking to me? Yeah, oh, Jesus. Do you want me to go over there and lie down next to you? Oh, Jesus, yeah, imagine. But I'd be like that, and then some days I just want to do absolutely nothing. Have a beer, eat food, charcuterie and all, warm ham and cold beer and all that. And then other days I sit down and I feel like an old dog looking out the window. I get itchy feet,
Have you ever had that thing, right? Because I had a lot of revelations while I was on holiday this time. I've decided I don't think I'm cut out anymore for the traditional sort of summer lie by the pool sun holiday
Really?
thing.
Yeah, why
Yeah,
you-
well, for a start now, I finally accepted, look, Jim, there's no point in you attempting to get a tan. You can't do it, right? And then what ends up happening is, do you ever notice the amount of fucking hard work it is doing that? Do you ever come away from a morning or from a day of lying by the pool on those beds? Because let's face it, those beds 9 times out of 10, they're not exactly the most comfortable.
No, they're not.
Do you know
No,
what I mean?
yeah.
And then you get this thing of like, well, I need to get the back of my legs done, or I need to get my back done,
yeah.
or I need to get under me fucking arms
Oh, I
done,
only
or
tan
something.
what I see. I couldn't give a shit. Just down the front. That's all.
But
Yeah.
have you ever gotten up from a day of that and felt exhausted?
Oh, you're
like
knackered.
like you'd put in a day's work.
It saps the energy out of
And
you.
you go for a pint like the way you'd go for a pint after being in work.
Yeah, you're all tired and don't want to talk or anything. You know?
Oh, jeez. Oh, that was a big one today, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you.
Yeah, the two is just-
I did a good couple of hours in me back
Yeah,
there.
you know the way you're going, geez, we better have a nap before bed. Or before dinner, not before bed. We better have a nap before dinner. You know, that way.
Yeah.
And you'd be just going up lying there in the heat, and you have to sort of snooze away for a half an hour to get your strength back.
Like you're
and then
literally, you're tired from lying down all day.
Yeah.
How the fuck does that
I
happen?
don't know. And then I
And
always...
you're achy and everything.
Yeah,
Oh, jeez.
yeah, like stretching your back. And, oh, fuck me. I'm absolutely bollocks after that. I am absolutely... Are you bollocks? No. I am bollocks. I swear to God. You know, the heat of that and all. Jesus, you can't even catch your breath, and you've done literally nothing.
And it's like
nothing.
that Irish thing that we do. I mean, look, I don't know, maybe you don't, but this thing about you can only go to a country, right?
Yeah.
Where the temperatures have to be so fucking high.
Oh, yeah.
You'd never get them in Ireland.
Never.
So, you know...
If it's a lovely 22-degree day.
Oh, yeah. Well, in here,
Right.
that'd be perfect.
Yeah,
But
well,
you look at it and you go, oh, I'm not going over there. So
cheers,
you get that in Ireland.
full.
You find me somewhere that goes up to 40.
Yeah, so that's Christmas in Tenerife. Surely there's a fucking starving camel that can't make it. That's where I want to be, you know.
Exactly. And, so, and then what happens? So you find and it's 32 or it's whatever.
Yeah.
And you go straight. Well, jeez, we're going to need another brolly.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Garson, whatever, senor.
Yeah.
Have your brolly thing.
Yeah. Do you have anything to keep the sun off me? Jeez, this is outrageous.
They've spent fortunes.
Fortunes to go and complain about the heat, yeah. And you're getting it, then you get all weird, you know. Oh, my foot's fucking rose. You ever get sunburned in stupid places, like the top of your feet? Jesus, I've burnt the tops of my feet. And then you put on your shoes. Oh, you're fucking good. And then you take your sock off, and their skin flies all over the room. It's like dandruff coming off your feet. You know, it's
you
like,
don't have to tell me about fucking dodgy
oh
sunburn.
man, inside my ear I got burnt. It's
But you get
stupid places.
those weird places, like that, literally that crease bit between your arm and your chest.
And nothing around.
Did you ever
How
get
in the
that there?
name of God have I done that? Or your stretch mark. I have a big stretch diddy mark here. So, you know, and me fucking diddy mark. It goes down around me nipple and me man tit and down by me ribs and all. And how is that burnt? And, you know...
Yeah, and it's always a weird shape. Do you ever get those ones? The weird shape. So it's down your sides, right?
Yeah.
And there'll be something, and it's a fucking perfect square. And you're thinking, how the name of Jesus did that happen?
Oh, yeah.
It's like literally a perfect square shape.
Yeah.
What have I got
Or when I start putting the sun lotion on me head one year like that, across me forehead, you know.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I couldn't see. I was like,
Yeah.
sweating down into my eyes. And then, you know, you're wearing the hat now, and the fucking bottom of my face was tanned more than the top. And I was like, you can see that, can't you? And Elaine was like, what? I was there, look at me head, look at the top here, and then look at the bottom. And she was like, oh yeah, you're definitely
two-tone?
You're definitely changing colour gradually. You're like on a colour spectrum. You know, I wasn't the same. It's like a colour spectrum. And then me crow's feet, they were all a bit white, you know?
Yeah,
I
from
was there-
squinting into the sun.
And we were in Dubai. I had to get up and do a gig on stage with a multicoloured head, you know.
I'd say they were delighted. I'd say fair play to that lad. He embraced all cultures before he got
look at
to
this man, yeah.
He literally is catering for every colour and
Yeah,
creed.
I don't know what that man is, where this man is from. I didn't even realise there was multicoloured people in the world. You know. Yeah, where are you from, sir? Yeah.
Mayo.
Mayor? They're all multicoloured, Mayor. They're all dirty green and red.
Or the other sunburn thing is that you get something. It's somewhere weird that stops you sleeping.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? You get on one side of your arm, and it's the side
wakes
that
you
you
up,
always sleep on, or whatever. And the whole thing, it's out the window then.
Yeah, big time. And I've bogger neck. Like, it only takes 10 seconds or something. Bing! Bogger neck. Red. Red. Bright red. Sour. Like, the whole thing, like, it's me country blood. You know what I mean? Like, when I'm in this, I don't sweat normal sweat. You can smell the onions coming out of my pits because I have bogman blood, you know? Yeah. And my neck goes red. Nothing else goes red like that, but my neck flares up. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, I can't even really explain how red it goes. Like, I couldn't wear a red top because you wouldn't know where my neck starts and the jumper finishes, you know? Like, this horrible thing. And no matter what I put, I'd be putting factor 50s on it, everything on it. And the worst thing about factor 50, I love factor 50, but you're rubbing it in.
For hours.
It's like rubbing a candle into you. You can't get it in. You're rubbing and rubbing and rubbing and rubbing, and then it's on your hand, and then you're trying to dry the palms of your hands in the sun. You're like, Jesus Christ, it's all on just white streaks, and you can't. And even if it gets on your clothes, you can't. You're like, it's this stuff.
Nightmare.
Yeah, like, and then factor 5, you just gone.
And that always gets highlighted then, because we're there with the factor 50s, and you're rubbing literally
rubbing
the white equivalent of crude oil into your arm, right?
And it'll only cover half a bottle only covers about 3 inches because it's so thick.
And literally 3 sunbeds down. There's Italian and Spanish and French and Scandinavian types.
Oh,
and they're spraying themselves with a bare mist of some sort of oil.
Hairy chest gold chain and like, you know, big.
They just spray it and walk through it.
Like can of Pringle bollocks on them, rammed into their budgie smugglers. Not a bother on them. And the big bellies, the big brown bellies. You ever see that? Like the huge big round belly, like he's carrying a Louis Vuitton. But that sort of tanned, dark leather. And not a bother on them.
That's it. And you notice the weird thing about it is they put a bit on, say, like a spot. It's like as though they know that, oh yeah, like I just have to make sure that my wrists don't get. That's it's a casual. We have to make sure every single inch of your body,
every inch,
is fully covered. They do a gentle spray on the side of their arm and go, there you go. That's their version of sun factor.
Yeah.
The other thing is, how come we sweat so much?
I don't. I think that's a combination of panic, out of place, alcohol. You know, like,
because I notice myself when I'm on holidays, right, and you put your sun factor on your line, and all of a sudden you're ringing. The sweat's poured out of you. Whereas again,
your man
is down and literally, lying there, dry as a bone.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Look at big balls.
Yeah,
he's just got like
not a bead of sweat on him.
Yeah, unless a woman walks past and he flexes his tits, and then all of a sudden there's this hue, like he's just stepped out. You see, no drips or drabs. Whereas I'm like blowing beads of sweat off me lips.
That's what I'm saying. They're lying around and they're literally it's like they literally have just lain down. You know? And I'm there and it's fucking rolling off me and going into my eyes and my ears and I'm wiping it out of my mouth.
And you stand up off the chair, you're wearing your outside pants, like you're not even, and you can see the sweat of a letter Y, where your arse crack has literally left a damp patch on a plastic seat. You're there going, oh my God.
I'll tell you something. It's enough to give you anxiety, PJ. Anxiety.
Definitely.
Anyway, listen, let's give you a few of the best bits of the week that's just gone. Speaking of anxiety, it reared its ugly head.
It did again. We were talking about Jim, poor old Jim and his dire straits, and how he's making life even harder for himself than he should be.
So you get to hear that. Also, there was loads of advice, loads of relationships advice this week.
Loads of it, yeah.
There was definitely something about dating. To be honest with you, there was so much relationship advice during the week. It's hard to remember which one it was, but it's on the way, so it'll remind us all. Also, we were very proud of ourselves during the week as a nation. We found yet another champion in a somewhat unusual sport.
What was the sport again?
Axe throwing.
Oh yeah, axe throwing, that's right, yeah. Proper Irish champ, yeah.
As a proper Irish champ, so you'll hear all about that. It led us down an unusual path, and we found out something about PJ Gallagher, I tell you, which came as a shock to all of us.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin the punchline, but I don't come over looking well.
And also, Since we've just been waffling on about holidays there, the joyous or not so joyous things about swimming pools came up during the week as well. That was kind of interesting, I have to say.
It's funny the way that started out as a nice idea. And then we finished like, I wouldn't get into, after having that conversation, I wouldn't get into a swimming pool if I was on fire now.
Have a listen, we'll talk to you in a few minutes.
GloryDaze, the best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim.
On Radio Nova.
If you're somebody who's maybe looking for love, maybe you've dabbled with the old apps.
That's the way, yeah. Everyone does it that way now.
Tinders or the
Bumbles or
bucket of fish.
Bucket of fish. James, that'd be a strange. Who would you meet in bucket of fish?
Or whatever.
Imagine, yeah. You probably meet. Oh man, yeah.
But anyway, I mean, like, have you ever done it? I've never done it. I've never had to do it.
No, not the apps. No.
Right.
So it's like.
But we're told that it can be. There can be potential dangers involved. I don't mean necessarily
Weirdos.
physical dangers, but
there's always weirdos.
Yeah, but
even the people you like are weirdos. Like, but there's dangers involved. Like, for instance, in Iceland. The problem that people kept having was they'd meet, because there's only 374 something thousand people in Iceland,
right?
And they don't have a lot of immigration or anything. It's an isolated nation in a lot of ways, so people kept going on dates and then finding out they were related to each other.
Oh my God!
Which is a little bit of a.
Yeah, well, it puts a bit of a damper on things, all right.
Yeah, it does a little bit. So they've actually created an app now in Iceland, a dating app, that when you meet, you can bump your phones together and the app will immediately tell you if you're related. You'll know straight off, because there's this thing in Iceland, they have really, really good historical records of the people that have lived in the country. So they can, and their surnames are kind of weird over there. You get named after your father or mother and then they put a son or a daughter at the end. So it's it's not easy to know by the name. So they've done this so you'll be able to find out if you're related, and then you can sort of, just, I don't know, have a Coke or have a Howie and go off and try and do it again, I suppose.
Wow, that's a serious. So it's basically like combining one of those genealogy things with a dating app.
Pretty much, yeah.
And you get all the information.
It's given me a great idea, though. I'm going to make one for Leitrim where you can that shows you how you can find your cousins to get married. I think that's going to be a great app.
It sounds
that's what
like
they'd be
something.
like that in Leitrim, you what? You want me to marry you? And we're not even related? What do you want me to do? Walk around talking to strangers? There could be murderers or weirdos out there. I mean, second cousins.
And they say, don't they, that a lot of the royals are related because of that same thing, wanting to keep it all in the family, so to speak.
Yeah,
they don't want to let commoners in.
There's a serious crossover there. All them royal families, they're all crossed over. That's why your man Philip with the big man, it looked like half a turkey. Because like that, they don't want to let anyone in and have a new line of people be entitled to the wealth or whatever.
Yeah, and again, I mean, actually, it's not a bad idea, that shout of yours, because for rural communities, again, as you say, they say a lot of people are sort of leaving the agricultural background, leaving the rural background to seek, fame and fortune elsewhere. Might be a very limited pool to fish in. The last thing you want to do is find out
you're related. Yeah, I find it easy to know I'm not related to anyone, because everyone I'm related to is a mad looking yoke. So I'd look at them. Basically, all our ears aren't symmetrical. Like, if I meet anyone that has a symmetrical face, I start thinking we're definitely not related.
Right. I'm solid. I'm solid here. I'm on good ground.
You know what I mean? I've eyes like those stoppers in a pinball machine. They just don't. They don't even blink at the same time. Do you know what I mean? I practically have an ear on me back, like the way they're so off centre.
It's strange that you never went the way of the app dating.
No, imagine that
profile picture must have been.
Imagine that profile picture. Man with nipples on his knees sees someone for walks and maybe more.
It's the very best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim
on Radio Nova.
Irish woman, Keola McGowan is her name. She's 31. And she's just become the axe-throwing champion of the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Axe-throwing champion.
Yeah, she's from Sligo. She went over to Canada to do this axe-throwing competition in Nova Scotia. Trained for a year. So she managed to train and do it all in only a year, which is very little time really to take up anything and become a world champ. And she practices and keeps her fitness up by doing pole dancing. This woman can do everything.
Wow.
Pole dancing with a hatchet now, that'd be something that you'd be... That'd be a very interesting sort of sport to see.
It's that'd be interesting if you were describing that person to that woman to a would-be suitor.
Yeah,
it'd be like, well, she does pole dancing. Wow.
Yeah.
And she throws axes. Oh.
Yeah. She's also the hatchet champion of the world. You know? That's what she's really fit, obviously. And she wanted to become world champion before she's 35. She did it. She's 31. She can't believe it. And she says she's a badass. That's what she uses to describe herself.
That'll be the pole dancing.
That'll be the pole dancing,
Come here, listen. The other thing is there not a twist to this story that it's not like she's the female champion?
No, she's the
actual champion. This is across the genders.
Oh, yeah, no, this is across the whole lot. Like, you know. Yeah. Lads been throwing their hatchets all over the place for years, and they
came up short.
And they came up short, and then she's at it. It's a big axe, though. You know when you see the small...
Is she kind of full Xena warrior princess kind of stuff?
Yeah, battle axe thing. You know, that's... Now,
I wouldn't call her a battle axe to her face. Do you know what I mean?
That's not what I was suggesting.
Especially not if she's holding the axe at the time.
That's not what I was suggesting at all. But isn't axe throwing is sort of one of those things that... Remember when Eurosport was on everyone's telly? Do you remember that? And you'd come
Are you going
home.
to tell me that they did coverage of the axe throwing
They
championships?
always had mad stuff like that. Like you'd come in after you or had a few fizzies maybe on a Friday night, and you turn on Eurosport, and there'd be like Korean roller skate wrestling or something, and then it'd be on. And then it'd go
those are the days.
Yeah. And then it'd be like pool with no pockets, live from the Netherlands.
Yeah. That might be called billiards or something, is it?
Is that what it is, with the tree balls?
Or there's something else there, yeah.
Yeah, and you'd be watching...
I don't know. Well, look, I'm probably wrong on that one, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's probably not called pool with no pockets. I mean, I will accept that I could be wrong, but I'm not accepting pool with no pockets.
The pool with no pockets champion of the Netherlands is Flanders Vladimir.
Greatest sport ever.
Yeah.
How long does it go on for? Oh, well, this particular game started in 1953. they still haven't put in a ball yet. Would that have anything to do with there being no pockets? I don't know.
I don't know.
Just they invented the game. They started it and they haven't stopped since. I don't know what's going on.
They were trying to get it in the Olympics since 2012, but the first game isn't over yet. Yeah,
that's going to be my pool with no pockets. Anyway, so you're saying that this is it sounds to me a bit like one of those traditional games, like the way the Scots have that toss the Kyber thing, or caper, or
toss the caber, the Highland games. Toss the Kyber.
That was a Carry-On film, wasn't it?
Yeah, what's
Carry On up the Kyber?
Yeah, it's the river, is it? Or is it a nationality?
I have no idea. Yeah.
It'd be the most racist thing ever. You have to go and catch a Kyber and throw him across a field. Yeah, that's definitely...
Where's he from? Kyberia?
Kyrgyzstan, yeah. We've been at war with them for years.
But it sounds like one of those things, doesn't it?
It does.
It sounds like something that would have
a
originated,
very regional thing.
Yeah, and originated maybe from the Viking era or something. You know what I mean? Like let's face it, it's effectively a very early darts.
It is an early darts. It is, and it's not as modern as like rifling. Oh, what's rifling called?
Rifling.
Oh, shooting. Rifling.
Rifling, that's the sport where PJ goes through other people's drawers.
GloryDaze, the best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim.
On Radio Nova.
You're somebody who, for example, suffers with any form of situational anxiety, let's say. You know what I mean? If you're somebody who maybe certain scenarios, imagine knowing somebody like that, PJ. Certain scenarios might cause you, might cause you some form of kind of anxiety. You know, you might get a bit of social anxiety, or you might get, who knows?
Or form-filling anxiety, or post-opening anxiety, but basically, if you feel like
Jim...
Do you
get post-opening anxiety?
I do. Sure, look, that's what's happened to me. That's why I'm in court now.
Oh, really?
Because I got the speeding fine.
If I see something that isn't... If it's not obvious from the envelope that it's not bad news...
Yeah,
I immediately go there.
Of course you do.
And it happened the other day, actually, because there was something in the letterbox, and it had nothing on it but Jim written on it.
Oh, Jim!
It was an envelope, and it just had Jim written on it. and it was in the, and I thought,
knowing you probably thought it was Semtex.
I didn't know, and you know what I mean. Now it turned out it was a good thing. It turned out somebody was giving me a voucher for something I did for them. But it was immediately I went to a bad place with it. It was like, what is this now? This could be anybody.
Of course you did.
This could be. Oh my God, what could this be?
This is the story of your life.
I'm being blackmailed.
Yeah.
So it's good to know. So you get that as well.
Oh,
do you?
yeah.
Post anxiety.
Yeah, no, I'm not as bad as you. Like, you know, if my phone rings, I think, oh, Jesus, what's this about? But you'd be like, if the National Lottery called you, you'd be going, oh my God, they're looking for money. But it turns out that the more you avoid things that cause you anxiety, the worse the anxiety gets. So they're doing all kinds of research on it now, and as easy as it is to avoid a meeting, put off a meeting, not answer your phone, not open your post, like, you know, to not fill in a form that you've been supposed to fill in, or delaying booking a holiday, and all of these things, because most people enjoy booking holidays. You want to see Jim, he's here with his phone. Oh Jesus, look at that place. Oh, they don't have a picture of the under the bed. I'll get there and there'll be a fella sleeping there under it. Oh, there's going to be bunk beds. Oh, God.
I'm not that bad.
You want to see him? He's there going, I've never seen. See that place? I've stayed with them before. If I come back, they're going to know it's me and they're going to rip me off. Oh, God. You know, like, whereas most people are like, oh, wow, look at this place. But
I mean, like, I'd get anxiety about. I do kind of go to the worst case scenario. But I mean, in fairness, you're not far behind me.
That's true.
If you were,
that's why I love hanging out with you. Because I always feel like I'm not the worst.
Like, if you were going on holiday, you'd get all that airport stuff going on in your head long before you got there.
I do, to the point that I plan a holiday. Like, I will plan it start to finish over a month, right?
Yeah.
This is the flight, this is the place. When I get there, I'm going to do this. When I get there, I'm going to do that. And then this happens. And then the day of the holiday, I'm not going. That's too much hassle. No way. I'm just going to see how much money I can get back. I can't be dealing with the airport. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To hell, looking at someone saying,
and I mean, you're
stuck with you for the week. You joking? We had a row in the car. We were only in it for 30 minutes.
And your anxiety about meetings or anything like that is like, you go into a borderline depression at the prospect of, like, what do we have to do?
But
we just have to go up and we said we were going to. Oh, gee.
Yeah, but that's because of you. That's because of you, man.
No, it's not.
It is because of you. Because I go, as soon as they say we have a meeting, I go, right, this meeting could be over in 20 minutes. But Jim is going to start asking questions. He's going to start saying, how are you? And how's the kids? And all. Asking questions he doesn't even care about. Have you any holidays planned? I'm like, oh, mother of God. And then people suggest ideas for the show. And he entertains it. Creating more work.
What causes that? It's the not knowing in every situation.
Yeah.
It's the not knowing. It's like, say, packing. Right? If you know exactly what you're going to do, wherever you're going, it's a weekend away or it's a golf trip or it's anything at all. If you know exactly the way it's going to go, you just pack for exactly that.
Yeah.
But it's when it's kind of like, well, now what if it's cold in the evening? It's when you don't really know. Or what if they, oh God, I don't know, if you go somewhere and you need what if you need a shirt?
That's what most people say.
To get in.
But you'd be like, what happens if the hotel goes on fire? I'll need a boiler suit and a gas mask so I can get out the back on time. And it just
you must have anxieties about something.
I do.
So we've established the post one.
I do. Although, you know something, the older I get, the less I care. Like, there was never ever anxiety like I had when you remember when you were a teenager and we didn't have mobile phones or any of that. There was one phone in the house under the stairs and you were had to call a young one to ask her to go out with you and you knew she was going to say no, but you had to do it. Remember the anxiety of that? Picking up, and then our dad answered the phone. How's that? Jim McCabe.
Don't drag me into it.
How's Jim McCabe? I'm the little fella looking in your window from the house across the road. What do you want? Is Amelia in? What? She's studying. No, she isn't.
Oh my God.
Remember all of that? Oh, yeah. And you start, don't call here again. And then you just stand at the end of a garden looking in. Hoping she'll say hello to you.
No wonder you got the reputation you did. Did you have any school?
Then your dad picks up the phone and your two dads are talking to each other. Remember, who's that?
Get off this line.
Get off the phone, whoever you are.
Did you not have any school stuff? No.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure you would have had to have gone. No, but I'm just
very best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim.
On Radio Nova.
There's a list here of things that everybody says they've done when it comes to swimming pools, you know. But I've never been a fan
Of swimming pools?
Of swimming pools or swimming in general, to be honest with you. You know.
Not even on holiday.
Well, not.
I mean, whatever about not being a fan of swimming pools here, but surely on holiday, lying by the pool, and then when it gets a bit too hot, just sliding in for a dip.
Yeah, I don't know. I like those pools where you can sit at the bar in them.
Yeah.
You know them.
Well, there you go.
I like them because you don't have to swim. In fairness,
Imagine if they had them in
fairness,
Ireland, wouldn't
even they'd be nicer with trousers. Let's be honest. Like if you know.
No, but I'm just saying, imagine if they had those in Ireland, you know, as opposed to kind of the outdoor ones you get overseas. If you could go inside a swimming pool and just get into a swimming pool and sit at a bar.
Sit at a bar. Can you imagine it? All old lads with their Y fronts and all sitting there smoking fags and tipping the ash into the water.
Some lad is dreaming up a nightclub idea based on that right now.
God,
but anyway, what's wrong with swimming pools?
Well, I tell you what I don't like before I even do the list. It's like they set up this thing that could be so much fun and then they eliminate all the fun you're allowed to have. No running, no bombing, no diving, no pissing in the pool. You're not allowed to do anything anymore. You can't do anything anymore.
I think a lot of us are glad with that last one that you're not allowed to do that.
And so they're saying, like, held and sipped some sort of a cocktail glass is something everyone has done in the pool, which is what you're talking about. That's the holiday experience. We've all, had some sort, standing there with a big thing and, sucking
mad umbrella-laden cocktail.
The cocktail that you'd never get served in a real cocktail bar because they're not real cocktails. You know those ones? I'll have head of a bear or something to be called. You know that? And there's like a packet of biscuits in it or something.
That's a real posed thing, for a holiday photo.
Yeah, it really is, yeah. And then people who jump through a rubber ring. We've all tried to jump through a rubber ring, I think. I think that's a normal thing when it comes to a swimming pool, isn't it? No?
Well, I don't know. It depends. Are you a member of the circus?
No, I have to see if you're
Do you mean just diving into the, it's floating on the pool and you're trying to dive?
Yeah, you dive through it,
yeah.
Everyone's tried that.
Yeah. And then you grow up and all.
Well, everybody's tries that. That's all I'm saying. Then there's attempted to impress bikini-clad women by swimming as fast as you can. I've never done. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. I can swim, but I wouldn't be. Michael Phelps isn't exactly shaken,
No.
So I wouldn't be trying to impress anybody with it.
I can swim just enough to be tortured. I can swim just enough to die in the middle of the pool.
Yeah.
That's about... Yeah.
Swim just far enough to realise, oh my God, I've gone too far.
Yeah, I'll never get back. That's the height of my swimming abilities. Literally swimming enough to get in trouble. And then there's... climbing nervously out of the pool because the metal steps on the holidays, you never trust them.
I'm telling you. And especially if there's any sort of movement in them, or sometimes, you're getting out of a pool, it's wet for God's sake, it's slippy, the very reason you're not allowed to run, PJ. And, the worry that you're trying, those things can be, they can be slippy as well.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the ones that are in the water.
Yeah, of course, they're really slippy, yeah.
And then the other thing about getting out of a pool, right, and don't deny this, from a bloke's point of view, there's always the chance that, the weight of the water on your trunks. Oh. And whether you're getting out using the stairs or lifting yourself up at the side, there's always the worry that the force of water on your shorts might leave you with the builder's cleavage getting out of the thing.
It happened to me early once. I jumped in and I dived, and I didn't realise as I dived in, me smalls went flying off around my ankles. And I was standing in the pool chatting away, and the next thing me smalls floated up in front of me. I was there, good Lord, I'm in me nip.
GloryDaze, the best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim.
On Radio Nova.
Sam has been on following on those stories that so would you even call it a survey of things that seemingly we've all done in swimming pools?
Just observations, really, things,
Sam was on. You were talking about the idea of those swimming pools, when you're on holiday, swimming pools that are actually set, or bars rather, that are set into swimming pools.
Yeah.
So you're actually at the bar but sitting in the
water,
pool.
yeah.
And Sam said, sat at the bar in the swimming pool, didn't have to go to the jacks for 5 hours.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
Oh my God.
It's probably doing number twos and everything.
No. Anyway, listen, the other thing is, right, all that stuff you mentioned, cocktails, jumping into, inflatable rings.
Yeah, all those things.
That's all sort of holiday paradise swimming pools. What about, stuff, the old-fashioned, when you and I were kids, and the idea of going to the baths. Remember that?
Yeah.
You went to the baths with your
little rolled up towel
under your arm.
and your little, and your smalls in under the towel, and you used to go in, and it was such a weird place of infection. How we didn't all get sick. People wearing those mad Veruca socks and all. Remember them things? They look like white flippers.
Only if you're all posh. Did you not just have to go walk through the cattle trough?
Oh yeah. No, you had to do that as well. And the sheep dip, the solution. And everybody kind of stepped over it anyway.
There was like a little shower, piddly little shower thing above us. And the little well.
Yeah,
and that was supposed to somehow
clean your
immunise you from everything.
And there was always like an old band-aid and a toenail in it. And some pubic hair that fell off a lad's chest or out of his bum. It was disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting, so it was. You're walking through, you're trying to dodge the toenails, and there's maybe a cigarette butt. Some lad puts a smoke out in the Dettol as soon as just before he jumps into the pool. Oh man! Yeah. And then people shouting at you to just stay in your lane. I'm here to have a good time, not like
stay in your lane.
Did you ever have all of that? They'd have some of the pool with the deep end and the shallow end. They have some of it designated for the swimmers, and then some of it for the Egypts.
And you mightn't have even been allowed down the deep end, even if you could swim.
I know.
They just couldn't be bothered getting in to save you, so they wouldn't let you down.
Yeah, I'm not going in after you. That's it.
Because they wouldn't even get in. They just have this, that giant pole, like you were trying to drag a lad off stage.
Yeah, a big pole and a whistle. Like, if I'm dying, help! And your mother goes, I have no idea how that's going to help. No idea how that's going to help. Yeah, it was just, I'm never really into it. It was always a little bit... Yeah.
Mind you, there was always that. I mean, in terms of stuff that everybody did, there was always challenges. Like if you could swim, if you went with your mates,
yeah.
There was always that thing of like, I don't know, you like somebody you try like jump on, like you'd put somebody on your shoulders. Now you wouldn't be allowed, obviously. The whistle would go.
Yeah, you're whistling Egypt.
You get somebody on your shoulders, they get somebody on theirs. And it was like a wrestling thing. You had to, to knock the other one off. Or
doing a handstand.
Yeah.
You remember doing a handstand sticker? Watch and see if and you're like, you come up.
Yeah. Was it straight?
Yeah.
It wasn't looking.
Snot flying out your nose. Did me late? Did I look like I was in the Olympics?
Yeah. Or doing that challenge where, like, I don't know, half a dozen of your mates would stand with their legs open. You had to try and swim under
their legs.
It was like a reverse Evil Knievel.
Going under their legs. Coming up when you try to keep your eyes open. You're forcing your eyes open in the chlorine pool.
I could never do that.
Yeah.
The eyes open thing.
Oh, you're forcing.
As a result, then you'd invariably smack your head against the side.
Smacking your head off something. The whole thing was a mad experience, really.
God, that conversation that put me right off swimming.
Yeah, I never. And those little white plastic things you have to put in your chest to keep you. Those little bits and the styrofoam.
The float aids thing.
Yeah. Stuff that is actually considered pollution nowadays. You're floating around on it.
Wow.
Going out into the beach wearing armbands. In the 80s, when you weren't, you're not even allowed to bring armbands to the beach now. And me outfit there in a full suit shouting, kick off feet.
Can I just point out to you, the way you were giving out about them not allowing you to enjoy yourself?
Yeah.
Like no running, no bombing, no diving, all that sort of stuff, right?
All the fun stuff, yeah.
Yeah, can I just point out to you, right? What happened the last time? Well, maybe not. I'm sure it was the last time. What happened the last time you dived into a swimming pool?
Oh my God.
What happened to you?
I shut the whole place down. I shut the whole place down.
What's the medical term?
A priapism.
Priapism.
Yeah. If anyone doesn't know what that is, I don't even know how to describe it on the radio.
Yeah. But suffice to say, they had plenty to hang on to when they came to getting PJ out of the water.
They had a handle to pull me out.
GloryDaze, the best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim.
On Radio Nova.
So there you have it, folks. Some of the best bits from during the week. So we're back. We're back in action. We're back with the old, the old podcast is back raring to go.
Raring to go.
Have we won any awards yet?
For the podcast?
Yeah.
No.
Are they over yet?
No, the podcast awards, I might be hosting them.
No way.
I might be, yeah.
And can you pull any strings?
I don't know. I definitely will try. Like, I'm not an honest man.
No.
So that's fine, yeah. Try and get us in there.
Could you swap that for your fee? Like, tell you what, don't give us a fee. Give me and Jim an award.
I love the way Jim does that. Would you just get me an award by you not getting paid? Why would you not do that for your pal, no?
but I mean, now that you mention it, it's nice. It would be a nice gesture.
It's just, Peter, you haven't had a lot of live work this year, so I don't think one gig's going to make that much of a difference. So, yeah, what's the big deal?
Yeah. So, I mean, are the podcast awards, will they be a live event?
I don't know.
Or will they be just... will they be a podcast?
I got a text asking me if I was free, and to be honest, I forgot. That's the date. But it'll be grand. So we'll see. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see. It's in September. It's in 2 weeks, I think, or 3 weeks.
Are you basing that on just that one text saying, are you free?
Oh, God, it's like the Gentleman of the Month thing. Where
you know what I mean? It might turn out that they were hoping, that somebody was at a loose end and they wanted a +1.
Okay, let me read that again. Yeah. I think...
Yeah. I mean, the fact that it came from, a lad in the Pebble Beach should probably have told you it wasn't the opportunity to host it.
Do you know something? This person wouldn't be allowed into the Pebble Beach. So maybe I better get on to that.
I've every faith. Do make sure you put it in. Put it in even as part of your rider. Okay, I want this amount of money to do the gig, and my rider is I want an award to me and Jim in me dressing room before I even.
But
go
if
on.
I definitely go an award to me and don't put Jim's name on it, I actually would get rid of the fee just for that.
That's very harsh.
I would, yeah, for PJ's part in the PJ and Jim breakfast show. I would love that award. Hold on, what? No, it's not. It's for a podcast. Oh my God, I'm an half-wit. Yeah,
that would be amazing though if you literally got an award, and the award for the best PJ in the PJ and Jim breakfast show goes to. My show would be funnier if you didn't get it.
Imagine.
The award for the best PJ in the PJ and Jim breakfast show goes to Jim. Well done,
Jim McPabe. Yeah. Oh, Jesus
Man,
Christ.
I hope that comes to pass. Right, I think that's enough tomfoolery.
Right, this is the best use of a human head I've done all day. Let's get out of here.
You've been listening to GloryDaze, the best of Radio Nova's Morning Glory with PJ and Jim. Catch the show live weekdays 6 to 10 on FM, online at nova.ie, or on the Nova app.